Hello, good morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. My name is Don Master Mateo. Riding solo today. It seems like the boys are out traveling. Huddie traveled to Medellin yesterday, and I think Kyle's headed there as well for a little conference boot camp presentation style. Gonna go have some fun down there. I don't know, is it in the sun? I don't know. Fun in the sun. That's what I wanted to say. But looks like it'll be just me closing out the week this week, our first, not full, but first week of April. It is the 4th day of April, year of our Lord 2025 this morning. Kind of an interesting week, start to finish so far. I've had some decent opportunities now that I've kind of looked back on the week. I know it's easy just to look at the overall markets, which we can do here in a second, and just look at, the SPY and how bad it's gotten as fast as it's gotten in the midst of another 2% plus gap down right now. Let me see here. Let me switch it over. My apologies. Doing this from a laptop. Normally we have our crap together a little bit more when it comes to the scene changing and stuff. But taking a look at the overall market here, kind of busted through the support level that we had set over the past few weeks. Looked like we were recovering. We saw big bounces on some reversion to the mean type of plays like Tesla, Reddit, etc. Well, not etc, but etc. And very quickly gave that up. Big gap down in flush yesterday, in the midst of a big gap down right now, down 2%. Going down towards the next support level back here from August of last year. So again, we're not your type of group that trades a ton of mid to large caps or cares too much about predicting what is going on with the overall market. But when you have big news globally going on, we have a new president, we have tariffs being enforced. I've seen something about China retaliating back with some duties or something. Again, I don't think it is the most important thing in the world to be fully submerged in all this news and information, because I don't believe it does anything good for my trading. The only takeaway I really want is if the market conditions are poor, if the environment is not good out there, then I don't trade if there's no opportunities. But yesterday, there was still opportunities. There was reversals on watch. We talked about it in the webinar with me and Kyle. And we had decent plays. I did really well on NMAX, which ended up bouncing back, having a first green day, even though the overall market sucked. It looks like nothing after how big of a collapse it had. But buying in the low 40s, I think I had like a 43 average, selling my last piece into 75 there. That's a really nice move. Even though the overall market sucked, there was a play there for me. I lost on a couple others that I took in the webinar as well, but netted out to be a really nice green day. Because, I don't sit there and I don't let my emotions get swayed by what's going on with the overall market. I take it for what it is, which is a guide. 3 out of 4 stocks will follow the market, but it is not the end of the world. It sometimes leads to no plays, and that just is okay. That's what we deal with here in small cap land. But if I have opportunities, if I have setups taking place, breakouts, first red days, first green days, reversals, I want to be participating in them regardless. And that's just the way I like to view it. Make things a lot simpler. I'm not the smartest cookie in the jar, so I try to keep things really simple, keep it very price action based, very technical analysis-y. That's what I try to do. So we don't have a ton of big gappers today. I think I saw one out there. Let me take a look. Any change? Okay, looks like AREB is up, which means there goes one of my reversals for today. But IBO we'll start with right after you hit that thumbs up button for me. Feels like the like button's not getting as much love as it has in recent past, and I don't know if you guys are taking it out on us because we were gone for a week out in LA doing a boot camp for some awesome students. But we would appreciate if you hit that thumbs up button for us. Do it right now. Make it easy so I don't have to ask again. Get the number up towards 50. Let's hit that subscribe button as well so you never miss a video that we put out. We do long form content, multiple videos every single week, as well as being live every single day that the market is open. We do Wine Wednesdays on Wednesday nights. And we're live for this show that you're seeing right now every single day, Monday through Friday. So hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Go ahead and type in the live chat as well. We're going to go over these gappers real quick and then you'll have till about 9:15, 9:20. If you have any questions, if you have any other tickers, we can talk about that too. Just me today, so going to take it nice and slow and easy. Don't have all my tabs ready like I do at my home for news and catalysts and stuff, so we'll just talk through that stuff with my face on the screen. But we got Mazen in here, Mazen, Off Turbo, Wayne, Adam Jones. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Get in the live chat. Tune in, let us know where you're tuning in from. How's your week going? Going to get my monthly recap out for all the 4-leaf clovers out there who have access to video lessons every single month. I put out, similar to what Kyle does on YouTube, just how I did that month, my performance metrics from Kyle's spreadsheet tracking, as well as how I did per pattern, how I did whatever was hot or cold that market. Monthly recaps are really good. I think they help a lot of people. It's really good for everyone to be doing, to just know as we go into the new month, because right now I'm traveling, so I'm not doing it. I'm going to be a week behind, and then I'll have a lot of information. Did breakouts work? Where first screen days are really good? Was there not that many first red day attempts? Were gappers consistently running or consistently fading? That's information you can get by being really, really meticulous with your tracking, and so that is why I'll be doing it, and I think everyone should be doing monthly recaps for themselves. You don't need to share it with anyone, but I do think it's really important as you go into a new month to kind of recalibrate. And it also can lead you down a road of figuring out where your issues lie, solving those problems before you enter the new month. And Franklin says, bad week for me so far. Off Turbo says, where are you going to post those recaps? Those are in the Clover trading page, clovertrade.io. Sign up for 4-leaf and you have access to the video lessons. If you have trouble finding them, there is a video in the onboarding page about how to access everything on the site. Got some coffee. It's a beautiful day. Sun is shining in Florida. My last full day here. Gonna hopefully get some golf in. Only golf 4 times so far. But we're gonna trade first. We got some opportunities. I'll talk about the ones I'm watching after we finish these gappers. But IBO is our biggest gapper of the day. Let's take a look here. We'll take a look at the daily chart in a second, but we're looking at something that ran recently, kind of bouncing off the backside. 8.89 million float, so low-ish float for like $1 stock, New York Stock Exchange market. I don't remember if that means Nasdaq, but a biotech stock. No news. There was an announcement about stock activity and pricing 2 weeks ago. 3 months of cash left. And nothing really in the dilution section either. So 8.89 million float. We'll take a look at the daily chart. That's going to give us why I don't think there's any news or anything today. And that is because it's just kind of bouncing on the backside here. We had a really big run. Probably, if you trade long enough, you start to really get in tune with the runners. And so if you saw it on your scanner, heard me say IBO, you probably flash back to the price action or however the stock ran, whatever day you got screwed, whatever day you longed overnight, whatever day you had a first ready, whatever it was, you probably remember it. So it ran a few weeks ago. From 50 cents to $6, has faded off since. Really hasn't had a significant bounce day. Volume got really, really poor really, really quickly. We broke down and faded and faded and faded. All the way back down to where we came from at 40 cents. Now gapping up 121%. So this is not something that I would classify as a first green day, because that first green day in reversal is like an actionable pattern. And after day 3, 4, 5, red days in a row where the stock is losing volume and we're not bouncing and we're really, really, really distancing ourselves from the highs, that's when I call it on the pattern. It's the last play I really want to be a part of in the life cycle of a penny stock, where a stock goes on a big run, has a short-term pullback, a day or two of being red, and then, gives up a lot of its range, and then comes back with some authority. Something like you saw with ICCT yesterday, takes a break, pulls back off its highs, and then boom, we're right back at it. And usually it's not as long throughout the day as ICCT, but we do get some morning momentum. The stock hits scanners again. People get back involved. Chasers come out to play. Shorts who have been swinging covered up. I think anyone who's wanted anything to do with IBO has been in and out at this point. Maybe some bags from the first few days. But so after we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red days, I'm no longer watching this stock and no longer interested. But we are bouncing back right now. I'm usually not interested in long wise any on these days right here because you're really just battling all this resistance. Up 128%, so there's a chance it kind of fails. We have a decent volume day here on the 1st of April where we did gap up from 88 cents to $1.30, so similar style gap. A little less percentage wise, but did fade all day. So maybe there's some resistance from that day. Maybe, well, there's bags all the way up, but could do a similar type of red candle and fade off for all you gap and crappers out there. But absolutely no interest in the long for me. It is a Friday, small-ish float in a very weird market, so you never really know. You can't count out any stock that's popping up on our gap scans, but this one, I think, very unlikely to break 6, I guess I would say, but it is so far off the highs that could run a little more and surprise some people before running into some bigger resistance. But that is IBO. I mentioned the other biggest gapper was AREB, which is annoying. I hope it didn't break out. Okay, which is one that I had on my list as a reversal. So this is, you kind of have two patterns in one because you have this huge run from $1.40 into the 8s. So over a 300% move. We have our one red day. And if this green candle were in market hours right now, you would have a really solid reversal taking place after the one red day. Now it's kind of in the middle between a breakout and a reversal. So this is a gapper that is gapping up 80% that has just a ton of range. And it doesn't look like it on a chart like this. It's probably done a bunch of reverse splits and gotten that float nice and low. Let me see what that one is and what the news was 2 days ago. 600K float, American Rebel, one that I think we've seen before. News a day ago was they're inviting patriotic investors, fans, and beer enthusiasts to celebrate freedom with a new video highlighting the American Rebel story. American Rebels. So super low float, crazy range. Like this red day to the top of the green day is 850 down to sub 3. That's over 50% drop, and it looks like just a little pullback. That's why you're seeing this little green candle today actually be represented by 80% up on the day. So this is a situation where this isn't going to fall into my like gap and crap style of stock where I'm like thinking about either shorting it or not touching it. This is right off my watch list. It is one that's bouncing pretty big into some key levels. So this is a pattern that I would have been prepared for already. It, being up 80% in the day, not interested in reversal anymore. Very similar to ICCT yesterday, where I'm not really that interested once we open. Was it yesterday? It's what happened was we opened and we immediately spiked to like 270s, 280s, and we were already up 30-40% on the day. Obviously, this one ended up going a lot further, but when we're talking about reversals, we're talking about all of the examples that fit into a pattern. Buying 30 or 40% up on a reversal is not going to be very profitable. And hand picking which ones you do that on, sure, you could find a way to do that maybe on something MLGO or ICCT, but I try to look at it from a systematic point of view and then just get myself involved discretionarily. But I think Cortani and trading tickers 2, the average runner from 5-minute high break to the highs was like 28% or less. So buying at 30 or 40% up on the day is going to put you in a situation where you are buying stocks where you on average should be selling them. So if they gap up too big or run immediately out of the gate too much, I usually am going to miss them. And so with AREB, we still got some time. We still got 22 minutes till the open, but up 80% right now. Probably going to start looking at this more like a breakout. Look for some consolidation in the morning. See if it's pumping out real volume. And maybe we get that breakout over 8, and who really knows where it goes, especially if we're getting some good volume on a very, very, very small flow. So this is very different gappers today, but both kind of playing out as not really fresh charts, more of IBO is one that we traded recently or watched recently that is just kind of bouncing back into resistance. AREB is one that is setting up across multiple days right now, hasn't really given up its entire move, faded back to where it came from. Hasn't really decided if it's going to break out and go higher, so we're kind of in limbo there in consolidation. But because it's such a low flow and the range is so wide, a gap like this right now is having it up 80% in pre-market. My coffee is delicious. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Throne says still sitting on cash for me. Wayne says ENTO popped nicely at it close. ENTO. That's alright. Entero Therapeutics. Kind of a crappy stock, crappy daily chart. Not really the easiest runs in the world on good volume at all. Even 10 million shares on 58-cent stock is just $5 million volume. So, not up that much. Only up 30% right now. Travis says, Dom riding solo like Jason Derulo. You better believe it. And you don't know how bad I just wanted to. If Kyle or Huddie were here, I probably would have done a Jason Derulo, the start of the song, where he kind of goes high with it. And I won't do it, but I want to. Jason Derulo, great artist. But yep, riding solo today, doing it much like a webinar style. Let's see if any other gappers have popped up. Don't see anything. Mullen popping up this morning at 11 cents. I wonder if Kyle's still holding that into the reverse split. But that is, that's a turd. When we were at our boot camp last week doing live trading, Mullen had a catalyst or something, traded like 400 million volume and went from like 30 cents to 70 cents. The thing this week has been sub 10 cents. Like, if you really want to understand the life cycle of these penny stocks and what the true motive is for the majority of them, some are way more toxic than others, Mullen being a case like that. But take a look at stuff like Mullen over the past few years, especially even the past few weeks, because their agenda is very clear. Mark says, Dom, what was your risk on NMAX yesterday? I got stopped on that 5-minute low break. Yeah, I took 2 stabs at it. I lost during the webinar immediately. We were kind of deciding if it was like a delayed open or whatever, because it wasn't really trading for a bit. If I can turn off extended hours here. This is the open yesterday. Was kind of thinking maybe this was going to follow similar to the overall markets, just being such a higher price stocks and people correlate it like that. But maybe that would help my benefit if the market does bounce or rally at all during the midday. But it technically did fit reversal criteria for being even that high of a price stock, from like $13 to $260 something, whatever it is. We're way over 300%. We had one red day that really gave it up, and I really like it when they're weak all day like this, because I think then sometimes the strength can be very similar. And even though we're not going to retrace all that usually, slow and steady grinds are fun to be a part of as well, which is what we ended up getting with NMAX. It's even hard to just get yesterday. There we go. I bought either this candle or this one right here, and I did get stopped when we broke down here. But then as I watched, it was kind of like a reverse head and shoulders type thing, where the low 40s weren't really giving it up. We did lots of volume, but we immediately rallied back, bounced back. So I started back in this area, risking low a day. Around 43 right here on this green candle, I believe, risking low a day. So 43, risking 40. I put a little bit less size on because I'd already taken a loss on the initial pattern, and said I was just going to be patient. If it was going to grind back and go green, then I was going to, I don't remember where green was, somewhere in the 50s, I think. But then just try to leave it alone and let it rally back for $10 or $20 a share. Was golfing, ended up consolidating really nicely in the afternoon, made a really easy hold, in a situation where I wasn't going to lose on it, could move risk to this 45 area if I wanted, and then sold into this speed up right here with my last sell like 74. So I ended up playing out really well. Did unfortunately take that loss early, and I don't think there's anything wrong with not retrying something after a loss, especially on first screen days and reversals. My whole goal over the past year has been to try to take less of them. I want to be really systematic in the way I take them. Like, I only want to be entering ones that fit the criteria, and if they fit the criteria, I want to be taking the trades. And if they don't, I want to not be, because I want to minimize my expenses, minimize as many trades I take on them, because there are so many that just don't ever have good bounces or really playable reversals or bounce at all, like IBO we saw earlier. So if that's the case, I don't want to be losing over and over and over again. So, because it's definitely a pattern where you can, if you're too aggressive and too early, keep trying. So, I know it ended up bouncing back, and the percentages are really good here. but this isn't your typical style one that's taking place, where I'm selling at 2 p.m. That's not normal. Normally I want that move to happen in the morning, but right now market conditions are a little bit different than normal. Theron says that pre-market run ruined my third day surge. I'm guessing we're talking about Arab here. Yeah, I don't know what the third day surge is, but definitely was a reversal candidate for me here. Really would have loved it to open between like 450 and 350, but up near 7 now, so needs to find some support, maybe some of these previous areas of this prior range. I mean, over here on big volume, can we do lots of volume out of the gate and hold? Anything's going to be sketchy. Risking too wide is not going to be profitable, so if I do decide to enter this for a breakout, really want to make sure I have a risk level that I can somewhat trust, and usually that means like 10-15 minutes of some sort of support, because again, we're gapping up almost 100% now. Dang, high 7s now, up near the breakout level. Definitely won't be touching that in the pre-market for me. I don't really do that. 9:15 now. 9:15. Mark says BIAS still on watch for first screen day. Took a loss yesterday on it. Yep, still on watch for me. I took a loss on it as well. And that's what I was just kind of saying about the pattern. It's one that can sometimes be a situation where you just keep playing it, and it sucks sometimes. And you really hope that the first time you play it is the time it bounces. But the pattern, especially from Trading Tickers 2, is very clear in what constitutes a reversal. And just because I lost, I have to pretend I didn't, because this constitutes a reversal. 300% plus run, multiple red days, right around red green right now, but didn't even go green yesterday. It broke a 5-minute high, but that ended up being a dud. And that's just, your preferred entry style can be anything you want. You can buy the open, you can buy pre-market, you can buy and risk pre-market levels, you can buy pre-market highs, you can wait for a 2-minute high break, a 5-minute high break, a 15-minute high break, opening range high. Entry style is going to be fully up to you. I just try to show people the way these stocks move and let them decipher how they want to do entering and exiting on their own. And that's what's going to keep you in or out of specific plays at the right time. Kind of what we talked about a minute ago about minimizing how many trades I take on a specific pattern and waiting for the best of the best. That's where your trial and error is going to come into play. But definitionally, if I didn't trade yesterday or was in a coma, it wouldn't affect what today looks like on the chart as a pattern. Maybe actually volume. Maybe volume would actually change this one. 80 cents. Yeah, this volume's a little light. So definitely a world where you could X-nay this one. How thick was it? Looks like it traded pretty tight. But I do even remember yesterday morning on the 5-minute high break, it was a little light. The spread did get to like 2 or 3 cents at a time, which is not what you want when you're trying to maximize risk reward, because the wider you have to risk, the worse the reward is. So the IAF is a reversal candidate. I'd probably be much more likely to chill out on it though until I see some real volume start to come in though. I didn't notice that volume thing when I was making my watch list late last night. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna rock and roll. I hope you guys had a great week. I think we came at you every single day. I've been in Florida this whole time. Looking forward. Next time I see you, I will be in Michigan again. So looking forward to that. I think the weather has been all over the place there, but it's been nice here. So I'm gonna enjoy this last day of good weather, good sun. Hope you guys had a good week, good start to your month. If you didn't, like I said in the beginning, good thing to do is go through your last month, go through your last few weeks, and really just study your performance, where you did well, where you did poorly, what patterns worked, what patterns didn't, and what problems did you have, what trends did you see in your trading that hurt you or gave you negative results, and make some changes. Stick to it. Be disciplined in your approach, especially when the market is all over the place and the environment is not optimal. Every decision you make has a much bigger effect on your overall P&L and your consistency as a whole. Now is not the time to draw down. Now is not the time to take big losses when the opportunities are few and far between. Sit back, make your watch list, prioritize every single night, be prepared, and execute when it is time. I hope you all have a great weekend, a great last trading day of the week. We'll see you Monday morning, 8:45 a.m. right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel for another episode.